Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good weekend. I'm going to go over what's coming up in our 5th week here. So hard to believe we're already in week 5. And I'm going to walk you through what you'll be doing this week. So just to look at the overview, you can see that you have a few more things due on Monday than you do on Wednesday. And that is because I'm trying to get everyone to really narrow in on a topic for their guiding question. And so you're going to work on that through these activities on Monday. And then but at the very last thing you'll do on Monday is post a possible research question or questions. And then you will on Wednesday get some peer response from your group, which I'll talk about in a minute, on your question. And then finally on Friday, you're going to submit your guiding question infographic. So that was the assignment that I asked you to look at last week. And there was a video walkthrough of that assignment. And there's a link to it again. So you'll be submitting that, and there are instructions for how to do that. And then you're also going to set up a document for your research logs, although you will not add anything to it yet. And then finally you have your studio due on Fridays. And this one's about evaluating sources through something called the CRAP test. So you can see Wednesday you have a very light workload. And the reason for that is so that you can get started on this stuff that is due on Friday. So I would suggest that after you respond to each other's research questions, that you start doing some of the work for Friday on Wednesday. Okay, so to walk you through these assignments, the first one is an activity. This is not something that you're going to turn in, but it's important to understanding kind of the philosophy behind how we're going to approach research and finding sources for our extended inquiry project. So you're going to read through this, and this is a reflection that you can write down on your own. You will not need to submit it. But you can save it for your final portfolio at the end of the semester. And then you're going to read this short article in our textbook Bad Ideas About Writing called Research Starts with Answers. So you're reading that. And then for this discussion post, you're writing a 200-word response in response to what you thought about that activity, curiosity and inquiry-based research activity, as well as the article. And then a short list of any questions or research topics that are interesting to you. Okay. And then finally, this is all trying to get you to think about what you might want to do for your guiding question. So this is the question that starts you off on your research. It's not set in stone, so it may change when you start doing research, but it gets you started. So please follow through these directions. And you're going to submit a possible research question, or if you have more than one idea, then you would submit, whichever ones that you're really interested in. Okay. And when you hit reply, you will see that you are only going to be able to see your groups, your research and writing groups, posts. So I have just randomly assigned you to groups for the extended inquiry project. So these groups are, let me pull it up. So if you want to see who's in your group, it will pop up at, whoever posts from your group, you'll be able to see that once they post, and you won't be able to see the rest of the class's posts. But to look at the people in your group, you can go to people, and then go to groups, and you will, let me see if it's going to let me do this. Yes, so you'll be able to see which group you are in here. Okay, you're either in a group of 4 or 5 students, and I just had Canvas randomly assign these. So you'll be working with these people more throughout the semester, and they will become they become aware of what's going on with your with your research project and give you feedback on your research logs, which are going to be coming up shortly. So again, you can find those people by clicking people, and you'll see that when you respond to this, or when you look at this, you will only be able to see your group members, okay? And then on Wednesday, what you're going to do is you're going to do a peer response to your group's possible research topics. So these, you're going to just respond to their post in that forum from Monday, answering these questions. So just hit reply and give some feedback to these questions, okay? And this is a little note that at the end of the semester, you do get a grade for engagement in your group. So please make sure that you are putting forth an effort to respond to each other when you are asked to do so. Okay, so that's it for the only thing you're doing on Wednesday is turning in or responding to your group members' possible research questions or guiding questions. So then once you get that feedback, you will need to decide on one guiding question that you're going to focus on for the guiding question infographic. Okay, so you'll have that one main question following these instructions here using the Google Drawings. And again, we have an example here. You do not need to be fancy at all. I'm more interested in, are you presenting the content that's supposed to be there? Okay, so remember, you're not doing any research yet for this. You are just showing us the question and what led you to that question. Okay, so to submit it, you want to download it as a JPEG and submit it to this assignment. You're going to receive an email with your team's Google folder on Tuesday. Okay, so I say on 2/9, but I will probably get it out on 2/7 to you. So you will be putting everything for the Extended Inquiry Project in that folder, including the research logs. So for the research logs, you are also doing this as it says in your group folder that I will send you an invitation to. This way it will be easy for your group members to access your all your documents and give you feedback on them that way. Okay, so this research log is going to be one running document where you're going to keep all of your keep track of all the research that you do over the next month and a half or so. So you'll just have one document and you will add each research log to it. Everything is given to you step by step. So if you follow these instructions very carefully, you will have set up your research log correctly. So please go slowly enough that you are following the instructions. There are screenshots to show you what it should look like as you go. Okay. And once you have that done, you're ready to get started on the research logs for next week, okay? And I'll go over those in our video next week. And then finally, this is a somewhat shorter of a studio, and you're looking at how to evaluate sources. So this will be important as you start doing research next week, because you're actually going to do this CRAP test for each of your sources that you find for your research logs. Okay, so there's a lot going on this week as you are settling on a guiding question that you're really interested in for the Extended Inquiry Project, and getting some feedback on that question, and then submitting that question and explaining how you got to that question through the guiding question infographic. So please reach out if you have any questions at all, and I hope you have a great week.